Huawei's Mate series has always been targeted at power users and the businessman. This year, the company has gone the extra mile by releasing 3 Mate devices at once, and here I have one of them. The Mate 20 Pro is the priciest model of the trio and has pretty much everything you have come to expect from a Huawei flagship. Or maybe not. Here's my thoughts after 3 weeks. Here's a message from our sponsor for today's video. Pick a Trip is a super easy to use travel booking app where you can get the best deals on flights and hotels without getting redirected to other third-party sites. You can easily view the available flight schedules from various airline companies, full hotel room details, view your full travel itinerary, and pay everything off in one single app with your Visa card to enjoy exclusive deals. Download the app on the Apple App Store and Google Play at absolutely no charge. I never got the chance to review the Mate 10 Pro in the last round, but I was happy with the standard Mate 10 as it had a headphone jack and supports storage expansion, which the Pro model lacks. The Mate 20 Pro now supports storage expansion, though unfortunately it isn't in the standard microSD form factor, but rather Huawei's proprietary NM card, which is expensive, slow, and unnecessary. Look past that, the Mate 20 Pro is a very smart looking device that comes with a curved display on the front and a textured glass back that helps improve the phone's grip. The phone is also now upgraded with IP68 water and dust resistance up to 2 meters for 30 minutes. Speaking of the display, the Mate 20 Pro sports a 6.39-inch 1440p AMOLED display with a 19.5:9 aspect ratio. Brightness is excellent and color reproduction is on par with the Note 9. Fortunately, my review unit isn't affected with the infamous green tint issue that has affected a number of Mate 20 Pro users. The Mate 20 Pro is the only model in the series that supports wireless charging. Since the phone's battery is a respectable 4200 mAh, Huawei even allows you to reverse wireless charge other smartphones, which is unfortunately a gimmick though it does work as advertised, but it doesn't charge as efficient as a standard wireless charging pad. It drains almost 8% of the battery percentage to charge 1% of my Galaxy Note 9's battery. It's nonetheless a good backup solution if you don't have an extra charger for a secondary device. There's 2 hardware features I love on the Mate 20 Pro. First, the IR Blaster, which I find it very useful if I misplace my TV remote control. Second, the in-screen Fingerprint Reader is the best hardware that I've ever used. Though it still isn't as fast as a physical fingerprint reader, it recognizes my fingerprint at least 98% of the time. And if that isn't good enough, the facial recognition hardware that resides in that white notch unlocks the phone properly even in challenging lighting. Previously on the Mate 10 and P20 Pro, I experienced some performance inconsistencies and bugs in Huawei's EMUI software experience. I'm glad to report that the Mate 20 Pro software has improved significantly over the previous version, and it now runs on top of Android Pie. There are a couple of usability improvements, such as after taking a screenshot, you get to share it instantly to other apps by swiping up or swipe down to get a scrolling screenshot. When you press the volume rocker, the volume control slider conveniently appears at the side for easier control. Lastly, you can finally uninstall apps or access a contextual menu of an app on the app drawer. The Mate 20 Pro is Huawei's first Kirin 980 powered handset, which comes with 2 neural processing units built on a super efficient 7nm process. I realized significantly reduced app launch speeds and faster response in apps. Gaming performance is top-notch with smooth frame rates on ultra graphics setting, and there's no performance throttling issues. Though the main camera area tends to get pretty hot after gaming for extended periods, the phone remains cool when I'm doing heavy social media browsing and streaming. The triple camera setup on the Mate 20 Pro is a little different from the P20 Pro. While the main 40MP RGB wide angle and 8MP telephoto sensors remain, the 20MP monochrome sensor is substituted with a f2.2 ultra-wide angle lens. As usual, Huawei's AI scene recognition feature known as Master AI is present, and this time, I realized that the Mate 20 Pro's camera doesn't boast impressive imaging results as I've gotten on the P20 Pro. While details are still impressive, colors look washed out or most of the time oversaturated. Turning on Master AI helps improve image quality a little, However, the lack of a monochrome sensor causes lack of contrast and dynamic range in photos. On the other hand, I appreciate the ultra-wide-angle lens as it makes taking landscape sceneries an easy task, and I so wished Huawei would replace the telephoto lens with a monochrome sensor. Another issue I had is the camera software, where it isn't smart enough to switch to each of the camera's respective resolutions when I'm shooting at 40 megapixels. That's actually very annoying if you want to quickly switch to the ultra-wide-angle and telephoto sensor, as you will need to change the resolution back to 10 megapixels in order to do that. Thankfully, all three lenses are able to shoot 4K videos, though I wasn't entirely satisfied on image quality and stabilization. As for the front camera, let's just say it isn't the best I've seen on a flagship device, and I am disappointed with how it handles colors and highlights. Every mid-series smartphone I've reviewed hasn't disappointed me when it comes to the battery department. The Mate 20 Pro has no issues getting through the next working day even after a day of heavy social media browsing and streaming activities. It is also the only device in the family that supports a screaming fast 40-watt supercharging speed, which sprints from 0 to 100% in less than an hour. Huawei phones are generally good at cell reception, and the Mate 20 Pro is no exception as it offers fast and reliable LTE connectivity. I encounter occasional inaccurate GPS positioning when navigating in the city, but it usually gets fixed pretty fast when that happens. The Mate 20 Pro is in every way a huge upgrade from its predecessor. It sure is a more exciting device than many other flagship smartphones this year, but at the same time, this is no easy recommendation. As with some of the compromises mentioned previously and its expensive price tag of 3599 ringgit, you could pick up the Galaxy Note 9 at a way lower price tag, and it comes with expandable memory, a headphone jack, and in my opinion, an all-rounder camera system that offers a more consistent imaging performance. If you're not in a rush to get a phone upgrade, I suggest that you hold your purchase on the Mate 20 Pro and wait for a price drop, which in typical Huawei fashion happens in 2 months or so from now. If you guys would like me to do a comparison between the Mate 20 Pro and other flagships, drop me a comment down below and let me know your thoughts as well if the Mate 20 Pro is worth your money. Thanks for tuning in and be sure to subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so. I'll see you in the next one, and that's it for now.